welcome to Training Tuesday, where we go through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. This week, we are talking all about family and the holidays, because man, is this a loaded topic for a lot of people. Now, with Turkey Day around the corner, I often hear this common complaint that goes something like this. Oh my gosh, it's almost the holidays again, and I have to go sit in the dining room and defend my life choices to my great Aunt Murial. Right, a lot of people have this feeling, this super uncomfortable feeling where they kind of start to dread the holidays, because for many folks, it can feel like this anxiety-producing thing that is looming around the corner where they're gonna have to go be put on trial and answer hundreds and hundreds of questions about why they're choosing to do the things they're choosing to do with their lives. Especially those of us who are maybe on alternative paths or are still trying to figure out what we want to do. And so for those of you, I get it, I feel it, man, can it be uncomfortable, but let's talk about it. I know it can feel hard. And ultimately at the end of the day, we want you to feel comfortable, or at the very least, not miserable, right? We want you to get through the holiday season with as little stress as possible and not as much mental turmoil, ideally. And the truth is, while you cannot control how your decisions are received by your loved ones, you cannot control that they're going to be 100% in support of them all the time. You can feel so sure of the decisions internally within yourself that any sort of feedback becomes water off of a duck's back. Is what I was trying to say there, right? And so while I personally feel very fortunate to have a family who is very supportive of most of my career decisions, most of my decisions in general, I also know that sometimes there will be times when they don't necessarily know why I'm doing the things I'm doing, or maybe even agree with them, and that's okay, right? They don't have to agree with my decisions all the time. As long as I feel good with those decisions at the end of the day, that's what really matters, and that's what we're talking about here, is being sure of those things ourselves. And so that is my tip for you this week. That is my task, right? I want you to reflect on the decisions you're making. I want you to reflect on your path that you're on. And I want you to ask yourself, why am I doing that? Why is this important to me? Why is this something that I've decided to put myself wholeheartedly into at the end of the day? Because I want you to remember that motivation when you go into those conversations. And then I want you to think about how you can prepare yourself for those conversations, right? So if there's a question that you know that they're gonna ask, come up with a prepared response to it. Come up with something so you're not caught off guard, because that's always when things go awry, right? When someone asks us something and we're not prepared on how to answer, and then we start sweating and we say something that doesn't come across as eloquent at all, or it just doesn't really land the way we want it to land, and then all of a sudden we're crying and it's a whole thing and you're 3 bottles of wine in and it's a bad time for everyone, okay? So we do not want that here. But I want you to try and be prepared so we don't have that happen. So think about a line, right? If you know they're gonna say, why are you giving up a great job to start to try this thing that seems super untested? Come up with what you wanna say to that. Maybe it's, I don't wanna jump fully into this until I know that it will test itself out. So don't worry, I'm not trying to throw it all away, so to speak. But I do know that I want to pursue something more fulfilling, and so I've started this on the side, or whatever it is that's true to you, right? But think about your why that you're doing this, so that you go in with the kind of internal fire and stamina to know that you can respond to those things. And then 2, prepare any responses that you can, because that is the best way to handle these things, okay? So start with those. Of course, if you have a larger issue or some sort of inner turmoil within your family, I would always suggest talking to a mental health professional or a therapist. So I would always recommend people go speak with them, because they are truly the experts on this stuff. This is simply my approach of what I would say from a perspective of a coach who works with clients looking to build more fulfillment within their lives and getting that clarity on what's going to feel good to them at the end of the day. Come back to what feels good to you at the end of the day, okay? So make sure you have that reflection so you can go into the holidays, go into that maybe awkward family dinner, and feel pretty comfortable. So that's what we're shooting for. Begin there, enjoy your holiday, and happy working.